live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports to break down the latest news and rumors around the black and gold. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Trace Gerard. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's program. If you're hanging out live, make sure you get in the comment section and we'll have a conversation. And if you're watching us later on today or later on in the week, make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications because we go live every single Monday and anytime there's breaking news. Now, I have a question for you, Saints fans. If Derek Carr returns, where will he play? That's going to be one of the segments that we're breaking down here live on the program. We're going to have a conversation about what's going on with Derek Carr. What are the latest updates? Newsflash, nobody's really interested. But if somebody does want Derek Carr, which team is it going to be? Let me know if it's going to be the couch or if it's going to be a team in the National Football League. Keith Mason, good to see you. I love football, good to see you. Queen Courtney, shout out to you. Thank you for hanging out with us live. Our guy, our T-shirt guy, and our customer service, they should have been reaching out to you, Courtney, so we'll get you exchange on your shirt. Jerry G, good to see you. I love football. Who dat? Jerry G says Carr to the Raiders. I know he said he wants to go for a Super Bowl contender, but, like, it makes sense. They could use a veteran quarterback in the room to help Fernando Mendoza. Clint Kubiak worked with Derek Carr and got some good football out of him for what it's worth, but I don't know, man. Is he going to come out of retirement? Like, if he does come out of retirement for a team that's not a Super Bowl contender, it would be the Raiders. Get the whole band back together. You get Max Crosby back and Derek Carr back in the same offseason. I mean, that would be a Raiders fan silver dream.
Trade for Devontae Adams, too. Bring them all back.
Exactly.
AB, you want to come back?
Exactly. Jerry G saying, just get Derek Carr out of here, please. Make sure you drop a like on the live stream as well. I'm going to give shout-outs to you guys if you let me know where you think Derek Carr will play this year. 51 people watching. Now we're up to 62. Shout-out to everyone hanging out with us live on YouTube. 14 likes. Make sure you drop a like on the live stream and let me know where you think Derek Carr is going to play if he returns. Braden, good to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us. I love Southern Raceways, says the Saints. Just kidding. LSU guy, what up? Dwayne, what's up, Trizzy? Yo, we're in the audience build-up portion of today's show. We're going to get into some live segments here in just a few minutes. We just want to hang out with you guys and talk some football before we get into our, meat and potatoes of the video. This is a little appetizer, if you will. I see somebody talking about Keontae Scott when it comes to the draft. And Lopez, I got a question that I want to ask. Who's the sleeper draft target? There's a couple guys out there. There's a lot of conversations around which player should the Saints draft in round 1. Who should they get top 10? Maybe even round 2. But who's your sleeper target? I'm not talking to Caleb Downs. Ruben Bain isn't the guy. I'm talking who do you want in like round 3, round 4, round 5? Let me know.
Well, the mock drafts that we
And how many Harold Perkins can we get in the chat?
I'm about to say that you're going to get a big Harold Perkins chain very soon.
Yep. Queen Courtney's saying Keldrick Falk.
He's going first round.
Larry Connor also says nobody wants to use Carr. I don't blame him. Harold Perkins from Dwayne. There it is. Round 4, Harold Perkins. Bingo. Chris Bell, round 3. I'm all in on Chris Bell, round 2. If that's your guy, go get him. There's nothing wrong with it. He's a dog. And I fear he may not be there round 3. 42 feels like a good spot for him. Let me know. Who's your sleeper target? Lopez, you got any guys? I saw somebody say Keontae Scott. I love football through his name out there.
I'm trying to think. Who are some other guys we've talked about so far? There's been so much that's been in my head.
The Ohio State edge rusher we took in our mock draft recently.
Caden
Curry.
He was good against Indiana.
Very productive. You could always go with, there's mid-round receivers that you can look at. There's
Mike Washington.
Running back out of Arkansas. That's one that I really like. R. Mason Thomas, Kentrell, he threw his name in there from the chat. Damon Claiborne.
Sam Brown,
running back, Wake
fan.
Forest. Sam Brown's number one fan is Sam Brown of Damon Claiborne. Jacoby Lane from USC from Isaiah Tobar. Robert Johnson, not to jump off the subject, but what about Cam Jordan? How's he doing? So last I saw Cam Jordan, he's playing pickleball and he's doing his thing. I feel like that's not a situation that's going to get a resolution anytime soon. He tweeted out the other day, it's an early bird gets the worm, patience thing, yada, yada, yada on Twitter. I feel like this is not something that's going to have an answer for a little bit of time. This is probably one that's going to drag a little bit. And I'm not saying that in it's going to be a problem, but I think that we know, according to the Toronto Armstead podcast, he is speed dating other teams. So he's at least having conversations with other teams. What I think is going on is, and this is, again, speculation, but I think that Cam Jordan's probably having conversations, and he's probably bringing these conversations to the Saints saying, hey, how much do you value me? This is what other teams are willing to pay. Can you match it? Can you beat it? Like, we know Cam wants to stay in New Orleans. We know the Saints want Cam to stay in New Orleans. It's just a matter of finding the price tag to keep him in with the Saints. So I think it would be a wise decision to keep him, but I'm not going to blame anybody who says no, move on. At some point, you got to close the yearbook, but I do think having a veteran leader, especially when you lose Demario Davis and Alante Taylor, I do think it would be beneficial to have another leader. And no disrespect to Carl Granderson, I just think that you need a little bit more juice than that across from Chase Young.
Yeah.
And that's where you can get somebody in the draft for sure, but I still think one more year at Cam isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, and I also think this might be a little bit of a hot take for some Saints fans. I know there's a cult of them that really love Carl Granderson.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's also the long-term answer.
No, I don't think he's. I think he's let his contract play out. I don't think that, and they'll let him go do whatever he wants. Maybe he returns. Maybe he doesn't. I could see the Saints investing in the edge rusher position at some point. We see some hashtag Saints. Yeah, get your hashtag Saints questions in. If you have hot takes, draft targets, trade ideas, questions, comments, whatever you want, make sure you get your questions in for free by using hashtag Saints. But if you send in a super chat, we'll spend a little extra time on your question and you jump to the front of the line. It's like the fast pass at Disney World, if you will. So if you want to support the show, feel free to send in a super chat. Otherwise, use hashtag Saints to get on the show for free, and we'll be having a conversation, live Q&A here in a little bit. Lopez, we've been hanging out. We're ready to roll. I think I want to talk some football. Emmett Johnson, good idea from Brian Smith. Running back from Nebraska, really like him. Tom Searle, our resident Cornhuskers fan, he's a big fan of his. Sleeper Traylon Stukes, Auburn. Is that where he's from? Traylon Stukes?
I think
we've talked about him. Arizona.
Yeah,
I was going to say he's Arizona. He's Arizona. But yeah, Traylon Stukes is nice. Round 2, Trizzy Trace. I did pick off Kyler Murray. So,
do we play the Vikings this year?
I wish we did. All right, let's get into it. We're going to do an update on Derek Carr, what's going on with him. I know a lot of Saints fans want to get him off of the roster, off the books, out of sight, out of mind, and we got some updates. Unfortunately, I don't think you guys are going to like. All right. Yes, sir. This one's Prize Picks, right? Ooh, 1 second. I'm not ready. Rut row. All right, now I'm ready. Oh, never mind. We got a super chat. We got to hit that. Sorry, guys. Quick super chat just came in. W. We'll do the super chat, and then we'll get into it. Sorry. I had to get my script pulled up here, and I wanted to make sure I had my notes here.
They're asking about Vega Ione at number 8.
I don't like going guard at 8. The one position two, I would say, quarterback, obviously. One position I'm really not interested in whatsoever in going with round 1 is offensive line, especially guard. Cesar Ruiz, I know a lot of us are frustrated with him, but at the end of the day, I think getting David Edwards does make it a better line, and I think you can wait until round 3, round 4, something like that. You can get somebody into the second wave of free agency. I don't like going guard at 8. I'm going to be honest. That's not what I'm doing if I'm on the way. Like, I have a hard time saying, let's go draft an offensive guard over a Caleb Downs or over a Reuben Bain or over a Sonny Styles or over Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate. I mean, these are all guys I would take over a guard.
We've been focusing on offensive line so much early in the past couple of drafts, too. It's time we kind of add some skill position talent on the team, I think. Yeah.
I think that this is definitely a good one to bring up for the mailbag because there's definitely conversation there. We'll talk more about it later, 10th Crusade. But I don't think that makes a lot of sense for the Saints. Like, I get wanting to upgrade the guard position, but I'm out on trying to draft one at 8. I think you can wait. And I think that you can get really good value there. So no reason to force a guard pick, if you will. People still in the live chat, 127 people watching. Let's talk some Saints football. 10th Crusade, thank you again for your $2 super chat. If you want to get on the show just like 10th Crusade, send in a super chat, and we'll make sure we get you up on the show ASAP. Otherwise, use hashtag Saints, and we'll get to your comments later. All righty, we're going to get into an update around Derek Carr. Newsflash, nobody's interested. That is also not surprising, but we're going to have the conversation either way. Yep, let's do it. We got updates around the Derek Carr situation, and unfortunately, Saints fans, I don't have the best of news. It doesn't seem like anyone's interested. That's what the updates were coming out of the Combine, and after the first week of free agency, it seems to be the same situation. The Saints haven't gotten any calls, any inquiries around Derek Carr, so as of right now, it seems like this trade isn't really going to go down, and that's kind of what I've been saying this entire time. Derek Carr is better off waiting and seeing if somebody gets injured. There's inevitably going to be quarterback injuries that happen in the National Football League, and a team that's trying to make a playoff push that could use a little extra help would likely trade for him later on. We're going to have a whole conversation about it, but really quick recap on what this whole thing is, the Spark Notes. Derek Carr, he could get traded if he unretires, if he needs the right situation. He said on multiple occasions he's not just going to unretire for anybody. He wants to go to a Super Bowl contender, but the reality is Super Bowl contenders don't necessarily need quarterbacks because they kind of got their team together with the quarterback position. But there is value in having a veteran backup, especially. His trade value is extremely hard to gauge coming off of injury, a year removed. It wasn't like he was, doing incredible things whenever he was healthy with the Saints. For the financial impact, it's pretty minimal. You don't lose a lot. You don't gain a lot. And this is a fluid situation. So just a reminder, there's going to be changes all the time. And this is something that you shouldn't bank on when it comes to a trade. But when it talks about the quarterback movement across the National Football League, the teams that needed quarterbacks are dwindling. The Colts, obviously, they invested in Daniel Jones. The Dolphins, they signed Malik Willis. Tua to the Falcons, and the funniest thing in the whole wide world, their quarterback carousel is a video in itself. Geno Smith traded back to the Jets from the Raiders. Kyler Murray signs to the Vikings, and Justin Fields just recently traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm telling you right now, when it comes to the quarterback position, it's not just starters. Backup spots have filled up too. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, they went and got Kenny Pickett in free agency. Washington brought back Marcus Mariota. Arizona, they brought in Gardner Minshew. They still have Jacoby Brissett, but we don't really know what's going on there. Teddy Bridgewater to Detroit, Mitch Trubisky to Tennessee. Like, all of these guys have gotten deals and have been invested in, and Derek Carr still hasn't gotten any interest. So my point with all of this is a situation that you really need to just take it kind of easy on and just understand if changes happen, they will, but don't bank on anything. I have a lot more to talk about, including some teams to keep an eye out, because there are some options still out there, especially when it comes to starters. I mentioned one of them, the Arizona Cardinals, but we have another one that we're going to talk about in a moment. First things first, let's thank today's presenting sponsor. That is Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. You'll love Prize Picks, and you can shoot your shot on the app and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right, Prize Picks now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. It makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting, so don't miss out on the chance to get started with America's #1 app for sports picks. With the college basketball big tournament coming up, I have a pretty fun lineup that we're going to show you in a moment. But just because football season is over, there doesn't mean you can't go and make money on Prize Picks. You can pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections on basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college hoops, tennis, golf, esports, and so much more. And for the college basketball tournament coming up, I got Cameron Boozer on a really nice deal here. Half a point. Yeah, go ahead and lock that one in. Darius Acuff of my SEC champion Arkansas Razorbacks, 34 points, rebounds, assists, or 35, taking the more on that one. And Isaac Finlinson, I'm taking the less on his 9.5 points. He hasn't really gotten over that in recent games, and I think the Hogs are definitely going to do some damage to Hawaii. But you can fade these picks, you can tail these picks, and you can take advantage of the special that they're running with the college basketball tournament going on and get in on the action. Download Prize Picks today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. Make sure you take advantage of that Cameron Boozer deal for more than half a point, and you can add that to your lineup and make some money today. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. Click the link in the comments and description of this video to get started. Now, a team to watch for a team to watch for Derek Carr would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially if they don't bring back Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he's going to take his sweet-ass time when it comes to making a decision on whether or not he's going to retire or return to the NFL. But I really do think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team to keep your eyes out for if Derek Carr or if Aaron Rodgers doesn't return. Like, Derek Carr could be a veteran. He could pour into the young quarterback room. They could still go and draft a guy like Simpson or Garrett Nussmeier, or they could invest in a quarterback in the draft whenever they want, and they can have Derek Carr teach him and, work with him. And Mike McCarthy is a great coach, and I think that it would be a good fit for Derek Carr, especially considering he wants to go to a team that can be competitive. And the Steelers, for what it's worth, I do think are going to be a roster that is competitive. And I've been saying this, like I said earlier, his best chance is just to wait. Derek Carr does not need to get traded right away. It's not going to happen right away. Teams aren't itching to go and get him. They were never foaming at the mouth, pulling at the chain to go and get Derek Carr. That was always the reality of this. But I think that there is a possibility that we rehab this conversation. We revisit all of this multiple times, especially as the trade deadline approaches. The Saints own Derek Carr's rights, and if a team wants him and they need a veteran quarterback, if they want to go on a run, then Derek Carr certainly becomes a really intriguing option. So that's why I think a team could go and get him. And if Derek Carr returns, where do you think he will play? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I got 3 teams that I'm going to tell you right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers, like we just talked about, are one that I have my eyes on, but I want to hear from you in the comment section. Now, a couple teams that still need a QB1. I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders with an asterisk there because obviously they're going to go and draft Fernando Mendoza first overall. But again, they traded away Geno Smith. Their quarterback room could definitely use a veteran. And Lopez and I were talking about this before the show. I think if there was a team that wasn't a Super Bowl contender that Derek Carr would come out of retirement for, it would be the Raiders. And, I mean, shoot, get the whole band back together. Max Crosby came back, get Derek Carr back. Might as well trade for Devontae Adams, too. Arizona, obviously, they parted ways with Kyler Murray. He signs with the Minnesota Vikings. They need a QB1. Is it going to be Jacoby Brissett? Is it going to be Gardner Minshew? Do they want a guy like Derek Carr? I don't really know what they're going to do. But there's not a lot of good options in free agency anymore. There's not a ton of great options in the draft. I mean, obviously, like we said, the Raiders are going to go get Fernando Mendoza. Simpson, I could see getting some hype. Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck, Drew Allar, Taylon Green, Jalen Daniels. There's a couple other guys out there as well. But there's not an illustrious list of quarterbacks in the draft. So that is why I think ultimately the Derek Carr saga is far from over. There are going to be teams out there who want to fulfill their need at the quarterback position, and when that need becomes present, teams are going to want to make a call to the New Orleans Saints for Derek Carr's services. I'm not saying it's going to happen immediately, but I do think that there is a world where maybe this does go down, like I said, closer to the trade deadline. But don't bank on a Derek Carr trade happening. It's definitely not going to happen before the NFL draft this year. If anything, you're going to get a pick in 2027. Still don't even think that that's really much of a reality. I don't totally know what's going to happen. But, I'm not necessarily surprised that there's no interest. Like, again, he's a year removed from playing. He got a season-ending injury last time he was on the field. It's not like he was lighting it up when he was on the field outside of the first 2 weeks. Derek Carr was aggressively average his entire time in New Orleans. So I'm not surprised that there's not teams making calls quite yet because you can still get active in free agency. You can wait till the draft at this point. But after the draft and as we get into training camp and early in the season, I think that there are going to be, spikes in conversations about this topic. Now, my final thoughts. Derek Carr trade at this point just feels unlikely to me, but this is a very fluid situation. I don't think Derek Carr will get traded at any time soon, but things can change every single day. A player could get hurt in training camp. A guy could get hurt in week 1. A guy could have, some crazy crash out and get cut and blah, blah, blah. There's always things that happen in the NFL. Things get weird, and it's a fluid situation, so just keep that in mind. Don't bank on a trade. I don't know if it'll happen. I'm not necessarily convinced it will, and honestly, it just would be very shocked at this point if a deal does go down. But if you want daily updates around the New Orleans Saints, whether it's the Derek Carr situation, whether it's rumors, news, roster updates, free agency, live shows, draft content, we got you covered. We go live every single time there's any big events like the NFL Draft. We were live for over 12 hours during NFL free agency all throughout the week. We brought you guys a lot of content, and we go live every single game day. So subscribe for free, join the Golden Gang, and if you are a part of the squad, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. My name's Trizzy Trace Gerard for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Mikey Taylor, what's going on, brother? $5 super chat from the homie. All right, and the AM video officially over 10K views. So if you guys are new channel viewers from our video that's popping the hell off right now that we put out this morning, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Oh, my God, look who's in the chat.
I know, I saw it. I put a message in there. I said, is that a Randy Lemoyne song?
Randy, the legend, Lemoyne. Oh, boy. It has been too long, my friend. It has been way, way, way too long.
Also, shout out Mikey for the $5 super chat. Great segue into our next segment, by the way.
Yes, sorry. Mikey, I love you, bro, but it's been so long since we've seen Randy in the chat, man. Randy, it's so good to see you, dude. I'm so glad to see you. It makes me so happy. For those who don't know Randy Lemoyne, this guy is a fucking legend. He is a tank. He's one of my dear friends. I love this guy, and seeing him in my live chat today just honestly made my day. So shout out to you, Randy. Good to see you in the chat. You're getting a bunch of love from Mikey, Jerry G, Foster showing love, Dwayne showing love, Southern Raceway showing some love too. I mean, that's pretty rad. So, Randy, look at you. Only you can move mountains like that, Randy Lemoyne. That's pretty damn cool. So, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. Queen Courtney even showing some love. Jartavius, I love football. Love to see it. All right, let's get to Mikey Taylor's super chat here. What up, Who Dat fam? Trace, could I send you my mock draft and you talk about it on the show? You know what? I'm going to say let's show it on the mailbag. Because we're going to do a live mock draft here in just a second. Lopez kind of teed it up.
That was a good segue.
This is a great segue. We're about to get into a live mock draft here on the show. We had a lot of fun doing it last week. You guys seem to really enjoy it, so we're going to do it again. We'll have the PFF mock draft simulator pulled up in just a moment. But I definitely would love to see your mock draft. Send it to me on Twitter. I'll read it off to everyone when we get into the mailbag portion. Actually, here, you know what I'm going to do? Mikey, if you send it to me on Twitter, like, now. I'm going to make a link so we can actually pull it up on the show.
Yes.
I'm going to make an actual link here. And I need you to send me the mock draft like ASAP Rocky because we got to get into some more content. I don't want to leave the people waiting too long. We'll give you just a minute to send it to me, and then we'll check back afterwards after we get through our mock draft, and we can check back, but definitely want to see that.
Well, Trace is doing that. Just a little special that we agreed on before we went live. Since it is 3/16
Oh, yeah.
day.
WWE fans, ball knowers out there, happy 3/16 day.
Trace did say if we made 316 in supers, he would give us his best Stone Cold Steve Austin impression.
I'll have to do it outside after we sign off live, but I'll post it to my social media accounts, and I'll post it to the Shorts tab as well.
Yes.
But, yeah, we get $316 in donations, and I'll do a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We're only at 7 right now, but I feel like I should let
everyone know. In lieu of going to the gym, I will Stone Cold Steve Austin 2 beers.
I will down 2 beers before I go to the gym.
Tanya, good to see you in the chat. What's up? I got my Run ETN shirt today. It's fire. Thank you. I'm so glad you got your shirt. I'm glad that he gave us the cleared on his name, but definitely those shirts definitely lost their stock. But you could also say they're vintage, and it's pretty cool. But anyway, long story short, thank you so much for getting the shirt and supporting the show. Really, really appreciate you, Tanya. Jerry G, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. Shout out to you. Also, if you want to in the chat, let me know who you got winning March Madness. My Arkansas Razorbacks, definitely a team to watch. They're dangerous. They're hot. What you think, Lopez? Who's winning it all?
I told you in our short today.
You did say.
Give me Mommy Mulkey and the LSU Women's Tigers.
If that one gets flagged, I'll know why.
God damn it.
Alrighty, Mikey, we're going to go ahead and get into our mock draft. I'll check my DMs in just a few minutes whenever we finish it up, and I'll make the photo later because I do want to include that in our mock draft or in our Q&A later on. I love getting you guys on the show, so if you want to send in a donation and you have a mock draft, send it my way, and we can get you on the program. Love the guy, but will we get a new kicker? Charlie Smith, SWA, got to pop that one up, and then we'll get in the mock draft. Shout out to you. Thank you for the $5 or $2 super chat, homie. Mikey, send me that mock draft, bro. Send it to me, homie.
Hey, bro, show us your mock.
Yeah, rock out with your mock out. I want to see your mock, Mikey. Let me see the mock.
Just whip it out.
Whip that mock out, dude. Dax says the Falcons didn't do anything over free agency except sign the worst quarterback in the league. LOL. They did a few like random small moves. Nothing they've done has been that great, to be honest. One thing I forgot to mention when it comes to the Derek Carr situation, Kirk Cousins is still out there, and that is probably a guy that teams would be more inclined to go sign first.
Oh, they both suck.
Yeah, no killing. Jerry G in the chat. I love football. I'm going for SMU basketball because my uncle is the assistant coach. Oh, that's pretty damn cool. SMU right down the street from us, about 10 minutes. Dwayne, Jerry G, you stole the words right out of my mouth. That would be funny.
What day of the week is that?
Yeah, what day of the week is
the real
March
question.
28th? March 28th is
Oh, that's definitely a Friday,
Saturday.
isn't it?
It's a Saturday.
No.
I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. That's probably not happening.
I will not be in town for that. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That weekend, I'm actually going out of town for a bachelor trip. I'm actually leaving for a bachelor trip that weekend. So, yeah, definitely not happening. I'll be in Austin, unfortunately. Actually, no, it's not unfortunately. I'm excited to be down in Austin, but yeah, we
no, you have to make it sound like
we will not be doing a live show.
Unfortunately,
I'll be out of town. I have plans. It's one of my best friends. Unfortunately, that means the live show will not be happening. But great idea. Maybe next year we do it.
What day of the week does it fall on next year?
Maybe we do it on 8/23, just like reverse.
Yeah, Falcons fans are stupid. They don't know the difference.
F the Ravens. Trizzy knows. Buddy Bear. F the Ravens, dude. F the Ravens. These guys are a bunch of schmucks. Partied with Raider Nation after the Max Crosby ordeal went down. That was wild. All righty, Mikey. I'll check my DMs in a moment. We'll get to that mock draft later. Love the guy, but will we get a new kicker? Charlie Smith, definitely an improved player. I absolutely love his story. I think when it comes to the kicker position, an upgrade isn't a bad thing. I think that it would be smart to at least bring some competition in. If Charlie Smith can win it, you get the best out of him, that's awesome. But I don't think it's a bad idea with one of your, as a UDFA, sign a kicker. Maybe with your last pick in the draft, 6th round, who knows? I don't think that it would be a bad decision to bring in some kicker competition, but ultimately I do think that the New Orleans Saints have a good option in Charlie Smith, but there is certainly upgrades that could be had. No disrespect to Charlie Smith. I'm rooting for him. I want him to succeed. He has the clutch vein, or the clutch gene, but he's ice in his veins, man. But I do think when it comes down to it, you got to make sure that we're set up for long-term success, and who knows? Alrighty, let's start off with that weigh-in, Lopez, if you don't mind. What? You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's so good.
You can't do that, dude. You gotta change that. Oh my God, Lopez. You're insane, dude. You gotta, yeah. No, I'm real glad I said something because holy cow.
Being silenced over here.
Oh my God, that's funny. I'm not going to say what was just on my screen, but use your imagination when we're talking about mocks. All right, let's get into it. Mock draft, 7 rounds coming at you. Brand new one. Let's dive in. Lopez got my timer up. All right, ready to roll. Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Could you imagine Derek Carr in the Savannah Bananas? No, he would never done that. Our GOAT Drew Brees and our King Tyler Shuck did it. All right. Feel free to chime in as well on this, Lopez, if you'd like to. That was unbelievable. All righty. It was. No, it was great. It really was. All right, let's rock and roll. If you want Saints, reset. All right. If you want more Saints mock drafts, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's rock out with our mocks out, and let's go through a brand new 7-round mock draft on the PFF simulator. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You're watching Saints Now. Thank you so much for clicking into today's video and tuning into the show. We're going to have my guy Loco Lopez also pop in and help us out with some of these picks, my co-general manager. All right, Saints pick 8th overall. I'm just going to make a rule here. No trades. Just going to keep it easy. Go through the picks, and let's make it on happen. Let's start this thing off, Lopez. Let's see where we get round 1. Last time we did this exercise, we went Caleb Downs. I wonder what we're going to land with in round 1 here. All right, let's see. Fernando Mendoza obviously goes 1. Oh, my God. Of course, Caleb Downs is right here, too. Okay. Chat, what are you thinking? I mean, I don't necessarily want to pass on Caleb Downs. What else is available here? I see Mansour Delane. I see Dylan Thieneman. Spencer Fun. I kind of like Mikey Lemon. I think Mikey Lemon is an excellent fit in this offense. He brings that yak ability. I think he could be a specialist for the Saints as a weapon. I think he could do a lot of good things. I'm going to keep it real with you. I love Mikey Lemon at this pick.
I think with what is left on the board, that or Caleb Downs is the pick here. We're not going French Mauinoa.
Yeah.
We're not getting...
I don't want to go offensive line here. I love Mansour Delane, but I think I want to go address another position first.
I think Caleb Downs would help fill that star position more. I don't think Mansour Delane's going to do that. Yeah. So then, like I said, I think it comes down to Downs or Lemon and kind of it's what you want to prioritize coming into this draft.
Let's go. The chat's saying Mikey Lemon. We're doing this live on Saints Now Monday every afternoon that we do this. Dax is saying go Mikey Lemon. Dwayne saying Mikey Lemon. Let's go Mikey Lemon. I like going with a wide receiver here. USC product, an extremely productive football player. I think that he could be a really, really lethal weapon for the New Orleans Saints. But since we went Mikey Lemon in round 1, I'm going to pass on my favorite pick in round 2 on Chris Bell here. Let's see what we have available. Lee Hunter, defensive interior guy for Texas Tech. Jacob Rodriguez is definitely a name I like here. That's definitely a name I like here. Keith Abney, certainly a good option. Jeremy Bernard. Is Keontae Scott, is this a reach in round 2? Do we think that's a reach? I don't mind Keontae Scott. I think that he would be a really good option to fill in that Alante Taylor spot. I don't think that Keontae. I wouldn't be mad at this one either. R. Mason Thomas is getting some love in the chat. Lopez, what do you think we should go here? We've traditionally gone wide receiver in round 2. What do we think round 2 in this one?
Some of the biggest names that stick out to me are Mason Thomas, obviously, Jacob Rodriguez, and then I think it's either coming down to Eli Stowers or Keontae Scott. Those are like my top 4 that I'm looking at here.
You know, I do think a long-term play of Danny Stutzman and Jacob Rodriguez could be a really fun option. You signed Caden Ellis, so that's kind of where I'm a little bit more hesitant on that pick. I don't mind going Keontae Scott here. I think that could be a good one because I think we could get a sneaky edge rusher next. Let's go Keontae Scott here. Let's replace Alante Taylor.
Before we submit the pick,
okay,
are we using Keontae Scott in the star position in this position?
I think we do. I think he's our Alante Taylor replacement.
Do we talk about A.J. Halsey?
That's a good option, too.
I mean, pull up the stats.
Let's throw him up. Sorry, if we're dragging along on this, this is going to be a little bit of a long one. Not bad. Good coverage grade. Pretty solid run defense. I mean, some of the guys in the chat are saying go Chris Johnson, go Jacob Rodriguez. Love A.J. Halsey here. Keontae Scott. Lopez, I'm going to let you make this pick. I would go Keontae Scott here. because I like a little bit of the snap alignment too.
Keontae Scott does have a better run defense grade, significantly better.
I would say Keontae Scott.
Yeah,
I think I'm
on the Keontae Scott train.
Well, and it's funny. I Love Football just said the same thing. I love AJ Halsey too, but Keontae Scott. Let's go Keontae Scott, cornerback out of Miami. All right, let's get a couple more in here. Would love Mike Washington, running back out of Arkansas. I think that would be an excellent pick here. Keelan Rutledge is certainly an option that I'm interested in. Zachariah Branch has been a popular name among Saints fans in a lot of mock drafts I've seen. Connor Lew. Anthony Hill. I like him a lot. Dalen Everett, not bad. I don't think we need to go corner again. Let's go back up to the top of the list here. Keelan Rutledge, can we pull up his numbers? Where does he line up most side? Right guard position could be like a long-term replacement for Cesar Ruiz. I don't think this is a bad idea. Anthony Hill is getting some love in the chat. Linebacker out of Texas. He did meet with the New Orleans Saints. Let that be known at the Combine. We can do a deep dive on this player later on if we'd like to. I don't think that this would be a bad one. I think Keelan Rutledge or Anthony Hill would both be a good option here. Max Clare is also something that popped up that I wouldn't hate. Let's do this. Let's go Anthony Hill at linebacker. And we'll go guard next. Let's go Anthony Hill here. We're going to get to some more picks momentarily. Round 4. Ooh, this is going to be a fun one. I think tight end might be a position. Guard might be a position. We're going to make the pick in 1 second. But you can shop the Saints Now collection, chatsports.com/Saints Now. Get the City Edition Mardi Gras shirts, New Orleans drinking team. We got them for you. All sizes available. Click the link in the comment section and description of this video. And if you're watching live, you can buy one by clicking the link in the chat. Support the show. Get yourself some new merch. We have all sorts of cool stuff as well. Obviously, Travis Etienne, he is Travis Etienne. So we have these really cool New Orleans drinking team black shirts, but we can show the Run Etienne shirts too if you want to get one of these as well. These are on the collection too. So click the link in the chat, chatsports.com/Saints Now. We have all sorts of cool merch. Click the link to get yours today and support the show and rep the squad. Let's get back to the mock draft. Make a few picks. Takarada Davis, Jack Endries, tight end out of Texas. I like. Let's keep going down here. Seth McGowan is definitely an option here. Emmett Johnson. I really like Emmett Johnson. Nebraska running back, pretty nice.
I think this might be the time in the draft where we go running back.
I like Emmett Johnson. I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
Because I think after this, you're going to start seeing some fall off in the running backs.
Yeah.
Like, if we look at them, McGowan, Johnson.
Singleton's nice, but I'm with you. I think we should Claiborne. That's also a good one. I like him a lot. Shout out to Sam Brown, interviewing him. I think Emmett Johnson is an excellent pick here. Can you pull up his numbers just for the sake of looking at him? Very, very nice grades. 1,000+ yards. 12 touchdowns. Yeah, let's lock this one in. This guy's a tank. Shout out to Tom Searle, our resident Nebraska Cornhusker fan. He's very, very big on him. Now, I don't hate going Endries or Marlon Klein here. Lopez, what do you think tight end wise? Do we go tight end or we go guard here? My co-president of operations.
I wouldn't be upset about going guard here.
Okay, what's available? I don't think a guard would be a bad idea. Let's see what's available at the guard position.
Jaeger Burton's
That's
there
one that
again.
we've liked. That's one that we've liked. Jeremiah Wright, Queen Courtney would love that one. Pat Coogan, he's more of a
I've heard
true
that
center.
name a lot.
More of a true center, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't think we go center
Eric
here,
McCoy's
but
missed 20 games.
you
in the
need
past
Luke Fortner
2
signed.
years.
Yeah, and Luke Fortner signed elsewhere.
Yeah.
He's missed a lot of games. You said 20 games, right?
Yeah, it was 10 games the past 2 years.
Jeremiah Wright. Let's pop his numbers up, and then DJ Campbell. Left guard, I believe. Right guard. Where are we at here on the alignment? DJ Campbell is certainly interesting. Right guard, a lot of snaps. Let's go to not Mark Fletcher. DJ Campbell. Somebody in the chat saying Mark Fletcher. I like DJ Campbell here. I think DJ Campbell would be a good option. Let's go. Let's get let's get a guard here. DJ Campbell. That's what the chat say to do too. Alrighty, Torian York. If we didn't get Anthony Hill, that's the pick that I'd be making here. Now we're getting to some sleeper territory. We're getting to sleeper territory. Who's a sleeper target that you're looking out for? Let me know in the comment section. Who's like a guy that kind of a diamond in the rough? Somebody's a little bit under the radar. Maybe like somebody at the round 4, round 5 selection. I want to know in the comment section who's somebody you're looking out to pick right now. Ndame Tucker, Eastern Washington, or Western Michigan, excuse me. Did I say Eastern Washington? Western Michigan. Don't hate that idea. A lot of offensive linemen here. We still haven't gone to tight end, have we? I don't know if there's going to be a good tight end here. Yeah, I don't necessarily love this selection. Tanner Kozel is somebody I like, but not yet. Yeah. Pull up Ndame Tucker's numbers. Wow. At 14 sacks. Very good grades. Yeah. Outside the I mean, I don't hate this pick. I don't hate this. Let's go. Let's run this one. Ndame Tucker. You are a New Orleans Saint. All righty. Round 5 still. Michael Taff is an interesting one. Julian Neal, Woo Pig. Thaddeus Dixon has been a name that we've explored before. We want to double dip at corner. Chat. I want to ask you guys what we should do here. Somebody threw Jeff Caldwell in the chat. I don't know. I don't necessarily know where I want to roll with this. We got Keontae Scott. We got Mekhi Lemon, Emmett Johnson, guard. We got edge rusher. Okay. Anthony Hill. 2 more picks. Pull up Jeff Caldwell's numbers. Somebody threw his name in the chat. Taylon Green. Offensive tackle depth might not be a bad option too. Okay. Nothing too crazy. Not bad. Who's available offensive line wise? Let's see. Alabama tight end. I don't mind going tackle depth here. Pull up Amari Wagner. Or Emil Wagner. The text is so small where I'm here. Emil Wagner. Sorry, guys. Okay, right tackle could be a nice backup for Tala Seifuaga. Might not be a bad option. A lot of people in the chat saying Taylon Green. Josh Quaves. Is that how you say his last name? The tight end out of Alabama? Cuevas? I don't know. Yeah. Jose Cuervo? Any relation? What's his deal? I'm going to be honest. I don't know a ton about him. I haven't done a lot of research. Okay. Decent numbers as a receiving tight end. Okay. Lopez, what do you think?
I think if we're going to go tight end, I got my eye on Tanner Kozel, but I think that'll probably be round 6 pick.
That's kind of what I'm thinking here. That's kind of been our round 6 We've been round 6 merchants for Tanner Kozel. Mark Fletcher is getting some love in the chat. Go back to just the best on the board.
Cave Club Nick is still there, guys.
No. Hit Julian Neal for me. Because what about some backup depth for the cornerback position? Like, having another guy wouldn't hurt. Isaac Yadam is not the solution long term. I don't think this would be a bad idea. I'm going to be honest. I'm good with Julian Neal here. Is anybody opposed to that? Because I think that should be the pick. Do you have any strong opinions on this one either way, Lopez?
I have no problems with Julian Neal here. If we're going to go corner, we've talked about him, or we talked about Thaddeus Dixon in the past.
Yeah.
We've taken him before. We can go a different route here, and I have no problem with it.
My Woo Pig bias is really taking over. I'm going to go Julian Neal. I like him. And now we get one more pick. Round 6 merchants. Give me Tanner Kozel. There he is. Wait, who's the guard? Jaden Roberts. Let's go. Let's go Tanner Koziel. Hit his numbers because I want the chat to see this guy. Really, really interesting player. He's kind of a sleeper at the tight end position, in my personal opinion. I think that he could be a good fit in this offense, add a little bit of an extra element that's missing at the tight end position. Certainly a player that I think at the end of the day wouldn't be a bad pick at the late in the round or late in a late round draft pick. I'm going to say let's get the Houston tight end, Tanner Koziel, with our round 6 selection. And that should be it for all of our picks. Let's see what PFF graded us. And let me know in the comment section what you would grade us. PFF, they're normally pretty harsh with these. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Oh, they did not like our draft. I liked our draft a lot more than PFF. But let us know what you think of it in the comment section. They gave us a C+, but obviously PFF is haters. People in the chat saying that we cooked. I think too. Mekhi Lemon, Keontae Scott, Anthony Hale, Emmett Johnson, DJ Campbell, Adame Tucker, Julian Neal, and Tanner Koziel are the picks. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section. Flame us as general managers, and as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you want more content, hit me up on X. Thank you so much for watching us here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name's Trizzy Trace. For my guy Loco Lopez, y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Perfect. Dwayne says we cooked. Dak says we cooked. I think we cooked too. All right. Mikey says he likes it. I do too. All righty. 118 people still rocking and rolling with us live. Mikey, did you send us the mock draft? There it is. All righty. Give me 2 seconds. Let me get this photo.
While Trace does that, make sure to get your hashtag Saints in for our mailbag. As we are also going to talk about some Alvin Kamara trade rumors, as the Denver Broncos could be a fun team to watch for.
That is what I'm hearing. I don't know how reliable it is, but sources, not sources, sauces have told people that I have heard through I heard through the grapevine of another grapevine of another grapevine that Broncos might be interested. But that's like an obvious one. Like, no shit, it's Sean Payton.
I feel like it's kind of like the Taysom Hill situation.
Yeah,
it's like there's only a limited amount of teams that would want this.
Exactly. All right, let me pull this up, Mikey. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah. I'm going to crop this as well.
I'm curious to see Mikey's mock draft.
Yeah, I think Mikey's going to cook. He normally has pretty good ones. Let me put it this way. Mikey, we love looking at your mock. Whoa.
Hey, yo.
Oh, and he took a screenshot with us still on his phone. That's pretty rad.
Mikey's putting his mock on us.
He's dragging his mock all over the place. And yeah. Cool. This is going to be a fun mailbag. I already feel it. If you have questions, trade ideas, draft targets, anything you want to talk about on the show, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat, and we can make sure we show you some love. Alrighty, Mikey, give me 2 more seconds. Getting the link for Lopez. Are you cool if I just Slack it to you?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like a TV.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. My computer's being slow. They've been doing that. Oops. Spelled Mikey's name wrong.
Can't spell Mikey's name.
I know. That's I wouldn't necessarily care and fix it because it's not like it impacts his life by any means, but it impacts mine. And I'm not gonna let that happen.
We have standards over here.
Yeah. No shiesties, no fugazis, no nonsense, no tomfoolery. Little tomfoolery.
Honestly, more tomfoolery than you would expect.
Yeah. We do dabble in some tomfoolery, and we do partake in general horseplay and some nonsense too. Alrighty.
Sometimes we even go as far as some debauchery.
Oh God, when the debauchery gets going, it's just bad news bears for everyone. All right, Lopez, sending this link to TV now. Thank you guys for being patient. We're just about to get into the mock draft, into the mailbag and into some Alvin Kamara trade rumors, but we're trying to get Mikey's mock draft on the the show as well.
Ooh, Mikey. I'm a fan of this one.
Yeah, I know. He kind of cooked. I'm not going to lie. He's done a lot of picks that we've done too, so that's why I like it. Alrighty, Mikey. Thank you again for sending that super chat and sending us that mock draft. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen. Just go the version without it, I guess. Because I did the remove.
I'm going to try the other one. I'm going to try and invert.
Dak says losing Cam hurts. I don't want to see Cam Jordan go either. Jennings and Debo together in New Orleans with Shuck and Olave. I put out a short about that earlier. Debo Samuel, like, if you can get him for a very cheap contract, prove it deal, why not? Same with Brandon Ayuk. Why not? They're talented players. I am not by any means, like, prioritizing getting those guys, though. Like, that's like a, if it kind of works out, then sure, but I don't think that it's going to be, like, something I'm super, super inclined to go and do. That's fine. I'm good with that. All righty, let's get into today's last segment. We're going to talk Alvin Kamara. We're going to talk a live mock draft, and I need you to subscribe to the channel. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard. You've been watching Saints Now live. We're going to finish off our show with some Q&A, with some trade rumors, and with a fun conversation that you guys get to be a part of. Lopez, whenever you're ready, my friend, let's dive on into it. I am ready when you are. Yep, you're good. All good. Jaden in the chat, getting a hashtag Saints. I love football. I want to see Cam Sakatua. My fear with the Falcons is in one drive, they could lose both of their quarterbacks. Chase Young, sacks, Tua. He's one bad hit away from having to retire. Michael Penix gets sacked by Carl Granderson or Cam Jordan. He goes down, hurts his knee. That's bad. Like, I know we all love dunking on the Falcons. I'm the first one to do it, but you have to call a spade here. They're in a really, really sticky situation at the quarterback spot. I don't necessarily like it if I'm them. All righty, Lopez. Let's get into the last segment here whenever you're ready. All right, cool. Let's do it. Today on Saints Now by Chat Sports, we're going to be talking about Alvin Kamara and some trade war. I can't speak today, Lopez. This is a joke. We're not talking anything. This is why you tune in live, because you get to see the sausage get made and you get to see me make mistakes. It's pretty funny. All right, pulling back the curtain, getting back on track. Let's dive on in. Today on Saints Now by Chat Sports, we're talking Alvin Kamara trade rumors first. Could he end up in a reunion with Sean Payton in Denver on the Broncos? We're going to get into a live mailbag, and I want you to subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 57,000 subs, I can almost taste it. And I need your help. Let's subscribe and get there right here, right now, and let's have this conversation around Alvin Kamara. I want to make one thing abundantly clear. I am not advocating to trade Alvin Kamara. I do not want to trade Alvin Kamara. I do think there's a world where Kamara and Achane can coexist, and that could be a really successful running back groom. But Adam Schefter did point this out after the Saints signed running back Travis Achane. Remember, it's not Travis Etienne, it's Achane. He clarified that in Saints media. With the Saints reaching an agreement with Travis Achane, there are now questions around the league whether Alvin Kamara will be moving on from New Orleans and whether the Saints would be willing to trade him. Teams are tracking and wondering about it. And if there's one team that comes to mind that would be foaming at the mouth to get Alvin Kamara in their uniform, it would be the Denver Broncos. They could absolutely be interested in Alvin Kamara as an insurance policy. They do have an interesting running back room, and I don't necessarily think that the Broncos are a really bad team. Like, I think that would be a good spot for him. Alvin Kamara and Sean Payton very clearly have the chemistry and they have the history together. But we obviously know that Alvin Kamara would rather retire than play for another team. He said that on multiple occasions. So why would the Denver Broncos want to trade for Kamara? Well, Sean Payton drafted him. There's familiarity. There's comfortability. They obviously know how to win with each other. They have trade assets to get a deal done very, very quickly. They could They have a plethora of draft picks that they could offer. And for what it's worth, J.K. Dobbins is a player that they have on the running back room, but he has always not been the most healthy player when it comes to his availability. He misses a lot of time, and they definitely could use a facelift at the running back position and just have another guy just in case Dobbins goes down. I'm not saying that they would trade him to be a backup, but to be, playing alongside J.K. Dobbins. But Travis Etienne, he said in his opening press conference with Saints media that he would be thrilled to share a backfield with Alvin Kamara. He said he actually models a lot of his game after Alvin Kamara. He talked about the days when Deuce McAllister was in the running back room and splitting carries. Like, why would he not want to do that? I mean, he would have a really awesome 1-2 punch with those guys. I think realistically, there is a running back in New Orleans that is expendable, whether it's Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller. I don't think it's Devin Neal. Maybe it's Audric Estime. But the Saints do have a world, in my opinion, where Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara can coexist. And if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, Alvin Kamara, we know that he has said that he'd rather retire than play for another team. I mean, shout out to Lopez for whipping up this Alvin Kamara in a Hawaiian shirt. That's just absolutely hilarious. But obviously, I think that that's really good talk. At the end of the day, when it comes down to making a decision, will he retire? I tend to believe so, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he's like, no, let's play it. Sean Payton, we can go win a Super Bowl. They're really, really close to winning it last year. Might as well. So what my guy Trace Moustakis and Trizzy Trace, we had a conversation about what could potentially be a trade. The Denver Broncos have a lot of assets to give away, and if Alvin Kamara is the belle of the ball for Sean Payton, maybe, just maybe, you could squeeze a 4th-round pick out of him. And what Trace Moustakis told me is that the Broncos could be inclined to trade the pick 108 overall that you included in the Devon Vele trade. So you'd get that pick back, and you'd now have, 3 4th-round picks? That would be pretty cool. I don't think Alvin Kamara would actually get a 4th-round pick. That feels very, very high. But if that's ultimately what the Saints can get, if Sean Payton wants Kamara, Mickey Loomis needs to drive the price up. And again, I want to make one thing clear. I'm not saying this was my idea. I'm not saying this was Moose's idea. We kind of got together. He was the one who threw out the 4th-round pick. I'm just, not throwing him under the bus, but I'm going to. Now, would you do this trade? Saints fans, Broncos fans, let me know in the chat. Type trade or type pass. I mean, if this is what you're getting, you would have to trade him, right? Just being totally honest, it would be just way too valuable to hold on to him and not trade him. I just think we have to be realistic. I love Alvin Kamara, but this would be a hard one to not say yes to. Again, I don't know if he wants to come out or he wants to go and play for another team. I don't know if he wants to get traded, but we'll have to see ultimately what happens. A 4th-round pick would be really hard to say no to. You know what else is hard to say no to? Prize Picks. I play Prize Picks anytime I'm watching live sports. My favorite thing to do is to go to live sporting events and put some money down on Prize Picks, because then I can cash in and win some real money. And Prize Picks is so much fun to play. And I know that football season is over, but there's money to be made on so many different sports, including basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college hoops, tennis, golf, esports, and more. And for the big college hoops tournament coming up, they have all sorts of awesome projections that you can get in on, and you can get involved in the action in Prize Picks, available now in all 50 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Prize Picks offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to pick more on Steph Curry's points, 3-pointers, and assists, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. And they also have some cool season-long projections. I love doing these in the offseason. I'm really, really excited about Saints football. I think that they're going to shock the NFL world. And when I'm right, I'm going to bring this moment up in the future. Chris Olave, more than 5.5 receiving touchdowns. That's disrespectful. Hammer that. Tyler Shuck, more on his passing yards. Hammer that. Bijan Robinson, less than 11.5 rushing yards. The Falcons are frauds. I'm hammering the less on that one too. You can fade these picks. You can tail the picks. Yeah, don't really care what you do. Just make sure you do it with Prize Picks. We got a sweet deal for you. Download the app today. Use promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. All right, Q&A time. What do you think about going guard at 8 here? The Penn State offensive guard, Vega, Ione. See, I'm terrible with names. And to be totally honest, I haven't done enough research on him because I don't want to go guard. I'm just full transparency. At 8 especially, absolutely not. Like, I can think of a lot of players that I'd rather go with than any offensive lineman, especially a guard. Realistic options that could be on the board. I'd rather go Ruben Bay, Caleb Downs, Jordan Tyson, Sonny Styles, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Arvell Reese, if somehow he's there, yeah. Like, that's 7 players that I would rather hit. Jeremiah Love, there's 8. Like, I think that when you have the 8th overall pick, you're in a really good spot where you don't have a lot of options that are bad. You have so many good picks. Like, there's so many, like, none of this is a bad idea. I think it would be a bad idea to get a guard 8th overall. That's just my personal opinion. Brandon, love the guy. Thank you for your super chat, by the way, homie. Brandon, thank you as well. Love the guy, but will we get a new kicker? Charlie Smith. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Charlie Smith. I love his story. I'm rooting for him. I definitely want to see him succeed. So I want this to be clear. Like, when I say the Saints should bring in competition, it's not because I don't believe in Charlie Smith. I just think that if you can get the best out of Charlie Smith and he can win a competition, 1, that would be great for his confidence. And 2, I think it would just be really beneficial to get the best player on the field. Like, emotions aside, I think it would be wise to bring in competition. Whether you sign a UDFA, whether you draft somebody with your 6th round pick, that's kind of what you have options at the kicker position specifically. I don't think it would be a bad idea to bring Charlie Smith some competition in. Definitely rooting for him. I'd love to see him succeed. He has the clutch gene, ice in his veins. I love seeing him hit those game winners, but I do want to see the Saints get the best special teams unit as possible. Phil Galliano needs to make upgrades. He already did at punter. I don't think kicker competition in training camp would be a bad idea. Mikey Taylor, $5 super chat. Who dat, Trace? Could I send you my mock draft and could you talk about it on the show? Well, Mikey, not only are you a real one, but you also sent in a $5 super chat. Ask and you shall receive. Let's pull up Mikey Taylor's mock draft that he just recently sent me today. All right, round 1, Caleb Downs, safety at Ohio State. That's one of my favorite picks at that position. Lopez, he has been campaigning for the Wipe Me Downs pick at number 8. Chris Bell, love that, at 42 overall. Tyler Shutt gets his guy. 73 overall. Traden Stukes, cornerback out of Arizona. That's like your Alante Taylor replacement. He's certainly a good option. Jalen Farmer, interior offensive lineman out of Kentucky. Caden Curry, really productive edge rusher for Ohio State. I love that value there. Jack Endries, the tight end at 150. Damon Claiborne, that is a sleeper that I really, really like when the running back position specifically, but throughout the whole draft. And then Lander Barton, the linebacker out of Utah. I think that this is a pretty good mock draft. I'm going to keep it real with you. If I had to grade it, I would say A-. Guys in the comment section, grade Mikey Taylor's chat, or grade Mikey Taylor's mock draft. In the chat, I'm seeing B+. I think A-, B+ feels like a good spot. Jaden, it's not a mailbag without Jaden Barden on the show. What do y'all think about trading away a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick for Brian Thomas? Lopez, feel free to chime in here. I'm going to tell you right now, a 3rd and a 4th won't get it done. I'm also not really interested in trading for a wide receiver. I'd rather just draft somebody in round 1 or round 2. I think that it's very fair to say Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, and Jordan Tyson. I think it's fair to say all those guys are on the board, 8 overall. But I really think they have their eyes on Chris Bell in round 2 out of Louisville. I think that is where they would go. I'd rather do that than trade for Brian Thomas. But, Lopez, what do you think on this one?
I could be persuaded to trade for a guy like Brian Thomas Jr. He's still a young receiver. He has a little bit of wear and tear on him. He has a little bit of experience in the NFL, so you don't really have to worry about the growing into his role like a normal rookie. I know you're talking about Chris Bell. You could argue he's damaged goods
Sure.
a little bit with the ACL
Sure.
injury. And Brian Thomas is just a freak. We saw it in his rookie year.
Yeah.
He didn't really shine much in Jacksonville last year. And I think that kind of might be a trend that's going forward now that they have Jacoby Myers and Travis Hunter is coming back.
Look, I think that Brian Thomas Jr. would be a really fun addition, and if the Saints did trade for him, I would be happy about it. That being said, if I'm calling the shots, I'm not trading for Brian Thomas Jr. And also, I don't necessarily believe the Jags want to trade Brian Thomas Jr. I think that they like having him in the offense, and I don't think a third and a fourth would get it done. But if you can do a third and a fourth, that'd be awesome. That would be, pretty good value in my opinion. But I'm kind of, I guess if you do this, you could have Chris Bell and Brian Thomas Jr., so screw it, why not? Jaden, thank you for the question. Jerry G, let's get to you, homie. With Travis Etienne signing, are the Saints still going after Jeremiah Love or defense at 8? I'm going to keep it real with you. I think when it comes to 8 overall, the Saints are just going to go best player available. Whoever their number one guy on the board is at that time, depending on how everything falls, that's who they're going to take. And I don't think Jeremiah Love is out of the conversation. I don't think Caleb Downs is out of the conversation. I don't think Sonny Styles is out of the conversation. Ruben Bain's in that conversation. The wide receivers we just mentioned a minute ago, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, all those guys I think are in this conversation. Lopez, would you still be interested in drafting Jeremiah Love?
I think the Saints and the Chiefs both kind of showed their cards in free agency.
Yeah.
They don't think Jeremiah Love is going to be there at 8, 9 overall. That's why they're signing your Travis Etienne, your Kenneth Walkers.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
I just don't see. I don't think they think that they are going to be there.
No, that's a great point. I think the Saints and the Chiefs both going to get running backs, and those are two teams that have been heavily linked to Jeremiah Love through the mock drafts and pre-draft process. I'm going to be honest. I think that they don't believe Jeremiah Love is going to fall there. That's why they both pounced on running backs early.
I've seen a lot of mocks recently have him going number 4 to the Titans, and then the ones that he's not going to the Titans, he lands in Washington a lot.
Yep.
I just haven't seen him fall into number 8 and 9 recently.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the dream is dead.
It
has taken a hit.
I think it has taken a hit, though. Yeah, for sure. But again, it's all whether or not he's available at 8. But whoever is on the board, I think that they just got to go get their number one guy. I'm happy as long as it's not an interior offensive lineman or an offensive lineman as a whole. Jerry G also in the chat saying, not a big fan of AI, but I love this picture of me. Looking fresh, Jer. All right, Queen Courtney, got to get you on the chat. Where do you go at 8? Downs, Tate, Styles, Bain, Bailey, Falk, round 2. Keldrick Falk in round 2, interior or defensive lineman for Auburn. I was going to say interior offensive lineman. But Queen Courtney, big fan of the Auburn players. So I know that she's a big advocate for Keldrick Falk in round 2. I am not as high on Keldrick Falk as other people. I don't view interior defensive line as pressing of a need as other positions. I understand wanting an upgrade there, so I'm not against it. If these are the players on the board, Downs, Tate, Styles, Bain, Bailey, Ruben Bain's hard to pass. Or not Ruben. Ruben Bain is hard to pass on. Caleb Downs hard to pass. I think I'm going Caleb Downs if this is what's available. And I could see this being the case. David Bailey's also a good option. I'm going in this situation, Caleb Downs. Lopez, what are you doing?
I'm definitely going to hop on the Caleb Downs train with you.
Wipe me Downs.
But it does segue us into our next question because Foster Harrison.
Quick, Courtney, thank you for the question, by the way.
Did the Caleb Downs injury concern you at all?
No. I'm going to be honest.
I think I don't want to say they're fake, but this is the time of the year where smoke screens are thrown around. Teams are hoping that this guy falls to them or maybe this guy raises.
He said he's going to be fine. I'm fine.
You've never heard of this in his college career. He had a clean slate in college, not any major injuries, and then all of a sudden, his ACL might not be intact. It's just a very fishy situation. That makes sense.
It's a rumor. I don't necessarily know if I believe it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. There's chatter out there. I don't have much concern, to be totally honest. And even if it's one of those things, he's got to miss a few weeks. That's okay with me. He's going to be a long-time great player in the National Football League. He's such a good talent. It does not bother me, to be totally honest. Foster, thank you for the comments, and thank you for the question. And thank you guys for tuning in to Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Gerard for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden. Thank you for tuning in to our live mock draft and our Alvin Kamara trade rumors video. If you want more content just like this, make sure you hit that sub button. All righty. Let's go back to this question. Who's your sleeper draft target? Let me know in the chat. We've been live for an hour, 10 minutes. We're going to sign off here in just a moment. But let me know.
And keep us live with Super Chats.
Yeah, that is true. If you guys want to keep us live, $5 Super Chat, we can keep hanging out. Otherwise, we're going to hop off and have a conversation. Tweet that I put out earlier. Really excited to see what Jalen Polk is going to do in New Orleans. Because the Saints obviously saw something in him. And the value that you got him for is pretty good. He was he was like the 34th overall pick. He was like top 40 pick. Like, and you got him for, what, a 7th and a 6th or something? Like,
Patriots gave up on him really fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's value there. I think I'm not saying he's going to be the guy who changes everything, but I think that there's something there that we don't necessarily see, that the scouting department and the coaching staff sees. And Kellen Moore has not given me a reason not to believe in him yet. So I'm gonna have faith in him.
Kellen Moore is batting 1,000.
He is. I mean, he's doing great right now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna sign off right now. Seth saying, imagine Carnell Tate and Olave. That'd be pretty fun. Carnell Tate even said he'd love to catch passes from Tyler Shuck, which would be pretty cool. Jerry G saying, great stream, guys. Appreciate you, Jerry G. Thank you guys for tuning in live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Gonna have more content coming at you throughout the week. And if there's any breaking news or major updates, we'll have you informed. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications. Dude, I cannot speak today. This is a disaster. We gotta go. My name's Trizzy for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and thank you so much for tuning in live.